Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? How y'all doing today? And happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, y'all. Today is gloomy as wet over here, but hopefully it's sunny and nice weather and y'all can enjoy yourself wherever y'all at. Welcome to the 103 Krazy Dropoff Radiopod number 26, episode 26. And of course, I'm the guy and your host, Crazy Chaos. We got some things to talk about today because I came across some topics that I feel is very important, especially about to talk about most of our black women, our colored women, our beautiful queens that don't like our black men's. They don't even like us. Or 80% of them don't like us. And I'm not believing that. But I do believe most of them are being choosy. I mean, choosy lovers. Yo, you choose who you want to love. You choose who you want to be with, of course. I'm all with it. But the topic is it true that our African sisters don't want to mess with us African men, which we really not African American. I'm going to put it like that. African American women do not like African American men. Most of them do not. They can't put up with us for some reason. They got their ways, and men got our ways too of picking who we want to be with. But I'm not going to be choosy and say, okay, well, I don't want to mess with this woman because of this, and then go choose a white girl, Caucasian girl. You know what I mean? It ain't cool. You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, when we do mess with the other race, it's because we don't want to put up with all that BS. You know what I mean? Do you feel what I'm saying? We don't want to put up with all that BS, just like a sister don't want to put up with the BS. So they think, okay, brothers ain't got credit, so they go mess with a what? A Caucasian dude. And most Caucasians ain't got good credit. You know what I mean? Right now, all credit scores is kind of fucked up after COVID. All credit scores are fucked up after COVID. I repeat that. And it's the truth. But we're going to get on this topic right here because it's very important. I want to show you something. I remember this clip was when apps and everything started coming out. I remember this clip, and this lady, she's talking about it. And it's very important that y'all pay attention and tell me what you think at the end of our episodes. You know how we do. Come up on the panel and talk. So yeah, here you go right here. I want to enlighten you on how this sister is tripping, and her dude is white.
So I'm sure y'all probably seen this video that I'm about to show you trending last week or so. And it was a white man that goes by the name of Jimbo Idaho on TikTok and his black wife. They were driving and, I guess they saw a black man somewhere and he said he wanted to pick him up. But his black wife was like, no, we're not picking him up. There's already too many black people in the car. You guys are going to see it in a minute. And she even called the brother an N-word. Now, somebody by the name of Art Kathy on Instagram made a reaction video to that. Check it out.
Black women, 80% of them, they don't like you. 80%, I am probably sure it's more, but at least 80% of black women in this day and age, it don't matter how old or young they are, they have a general dislike and hatred for you.
Is that true? Because maybe it's just you on how you feel. You speak for the whole community of the Black American woman race in the United States.
It's your real climate, brothers.
I keep trying to tell people that Idaho is not as racist as everyone thinks it is. So we are out in the middle of the desert. We're driving along, and I see a car that's broken down, and there's a black man. Now, there is not a whole lot of black people here in Idaho, right?
Not a lot.
So I'm thinking nobody else is probably going to stop to help this man. So I'm just like, you know what? We should stop. We should stop and help this man.
No, we shouldn't.
I'm like, what? And she's like, oh. I'm just like, no one else is going to stop.
Not my problem.
And I'm like, come on, we got to help this guy out.
No, we don't.
See,
No, we do not.
So see, I just gotta say, like right now, like she said, we already had too many black people in the car.
Niggas already in this little vicinity. It's too many.
She said ninjas.
Ninjas.
That was ninjas for anyone that she has a speech impediment.
Now, why is she tripping? And she knows her husband is white. Am I right? She knows he's white. And she said, "There's too many niggas in here." Now, this dude got more of a heart and seemed like he's not racist than she is. So it seems like, okay, it's either one of the two. Either she's racist on her own race, or two, she just hitchhiker phobic. You know what I mean? But her husband is in the right place, so ain't got nothing to say about you, Jimbo.
It was
I a little slow.
So as you saw and heard there, you saw the, Jimbo Idaho and his raccoon wife, making fun of the black man that needed a ride. Honestly, I thought I was watching a trailer of The Hills Have Eyes, but it was just his TikTok. But anyway, Art Kathy saw it too, and she did not like what she saw because I guess from her interpretation, she surmised that black women, 80% of black women do not like black men. And so I was like, Well, the video of the raccoon and her husband was pretty wild, but then to compile that lie that 80% of black women do not like black men was just a lot for me. And so I was like, you know what? Let me Google and see if there's such a thing. So I Googled and I put in what percentage of black women do not like black men.
And you know what? You're not going to find nothing. You're not going to find nothing because that's her that's her opinion. That's how she feels inside by what she see in the community or whatever community she's live in, which is probably interracial, biracial. You know what I mean? It's probably where she lives at, which is not the world. This lady that said that, she's just cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs, and she need to wake up, because I'm not trying to cuss, but she needs to wake up. She's living in a small community where she see mixed and biracial, interracial couples, and she think that's happening all around the United States, where she think black women don't like black men. Now, with some women out here that's so masculine and think they're better than the man in a different perspective, not wanting to be with the black man, not that part, but thinking that they're doing so much where they don't need the black man is not needed, that the woman can take over and do everything. Now, I'm not saying, okay, women, you got to go ahead and birth and stay at home and cook, clean, do laundry, and that's your job. Nah, I'm not saying that at all, and I'm against that. But what I'm saying is, don't get out here so masculine and think that the black man is not doing nothing when you looking at the other race. Like they're doing so good that's what the race you want to go to, because have you forgot where you come from? It's all history. And my man, it's a crazy voyage. I got something for you. This is really crazy. And now for the relationship of a black woman that want to be with a black man that do not want to be with a black man because of certain issues and leaving the black man to go to another race. Now that's different, because that's weak to me. It's weak because you don't want to work out things, but you just want to say, okay, I throw my hands up. Fuck it. I'm done with, I'm going to this Becky over here, or you going to this Tommy over here. And you think, oh, it's all good because they want to taste the chocolate, y'all. They want to taste the tropical trees. They want to have children that can be athletes now. The black community them took over most of the sports. We done took over everything. What do you think Madonna and it was the name Angelina Jolie, they trying to have black babies in their families so they can be somebody. All they just needed the money is behind them, and they got the money behind them because they movie stars. But they shopping for niggas. They shopping for us, black Americans. It's like a slave trade on the low, which I'm against totally, for real. Like, I'm off the fucking chain, dude. Like, gnarly. That shit ain't cool with me. All my fucking waves. Nah. Don't be niggas shopping around here. Africa, I don't care where it is. Make some babies. Make your own. It's all good, but it's good. It's cool to adopt too. I ain't saying don't, but they think they slick. But this is another topic in the way of, you know, black women in relationships.
Black men of that caliber expect black women to be women.
Femininity.
A lot of y'all are men.
Oh no, 100%. But that's because it's not enough masculine energy around. How can we be feminine?
But we can't make that excuse.
What excuse? See, we ain't talking about Joe. We're not talking about the single. We talking about the 1%.
But what I'm saying is, you said we're masculine because there's not enough masculine energy around. What if men started saying we're feminine because there's not enough feminine energy around?
Because that's.
But we can't say that. Is my point.
Listen, it's the message right here. Black boy.
Right. We won't say that because we are men. It's not for us to say that. Only for the weak body, especially black men. It's not in the black man to weaken up and bow down like that. We bow down in certain ways to you, ladies, our queens, our lovely babies, sexy chocolate women. We bow down in a certain way of being affectionate and love and showing you and expressing our love and want that back. Y'all think we don't need that back? Yeah, but y'all want it also, and it's not a problem. But y'all have, let's say, extra things that you want to come with things that's supposed to be pertained and automatically be there in that relationship, which is okay, but let it come naturally. Let it come naturally. Let it come naturally.
Tell me how you really feel, cause I just wanna build with you. Black girl, tell me how you really feel. I wanna keep it real with you. I wanna live better, eat better. I wanna love better, sleep better. Yeah, I wanna feel so aligned.
Of course, we're gonna treat him like a regular because all we know is regular. We don't necessarily, like I said, that's how that goes back to the whole standards thing. You know what I mean? Like if a man set his standards and what he do and what he doesn't, what he allows. You come in my house, you gotta take your shoes off. You can't walk around my house with no shoes on. It's the same way with conversation. It's the same way with how etiquette. A lot of men don't hold doors, but I've been blessed enough to be, if I'm about to touch a door, don't touch that door. But that's not every man. But I don't expect every man to be that way. But that's why I naturally go open the door for myself. But I know next time when I'm with this man, I better not touch that door. So it's on him that his ex-girlfriend was treating him like a regular person. Because if he didn't remind her that he wasn't regular, that's on him. Sis, you used to this, but this ain't this. And he allowed it to carry on. Sorry.
So, that's interesting. Right now, a lot of black men, they are saying, I think the acronym is SYSBM. Save yourself, black man.
Okay.
And the movement is all around this concept of African-American black women are fundamentally broken. So instead of sticking around and trying to fix them and trying to check them and put them in their place, go to Thailand, go to Africa, go to South America, get you a Canadian woman, right?
I mean, y'all been doing that though. Y'all been getting other races though.
But it's a movement now. It's a movement now.
It's been a movement.
Okay,
that's why black women been so mad. Like we sit here, we got to deal with broken men, and we're not. You know what? Forget this. I'm going to get me a Tommy. No, Tommy just came over and he just treated me better. That's why I'm with him. He treated me like how I feel like I should be treated. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, he's moving that way. He's not, he's just moving a different way. Not necessarily saying we love black men.
Well, we'll get to Tommy.
We're not letting go of black men. Like you just said, oh man, forget this. Y'all, we can't fix these women. Let's go to Thailand and turn up or go somewhere else and get a woman. What?
That's not true. That's not true. Because a black man is willing to work it out with the woman, But the thing is, do the women want to hear what the black man had to say? Because look at her actions, her body movements when he said that. She like, huh? She got real crunk and start bobbing her head, bouncing in the seat. Her attitude and the spunk of what she really listening to what the brother was saying.
Y'all just really just tell me that y'all really just brought to break our household, when at the end of the day, we both broken. And really the only person that can fix the home is the black man. Because black men helping other black men is the only way we gonna be able to thrive. Correcting your homeboy, he talking about he got 5 different shorties. Like, bro, why you got 5 girls? Like, bro, you let you raw dog in them too? So you don't care about no kids? Like, so if you have a kid, you're not gonna beat it. You know, certain things.
But those aren't
certain
the men
conversations.
who are leaving.
Huh?
Those aren't the men who are leaving.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the 1%.
It's the good dudes that are leaving, yeah. So the good dudes that I'm talking about, they've already done the work. And they're like, I shouldn't have to babysit somebody. I think the problem a lot of times.
I just don't understand how men can't find no women and the ratio is just so high. I just cannot. That is one thing I cannot believe.
That's not the problem. We can find the women, but the women, the thing is, who raised the women? I'm looking for the good woman who's been raised by the good mother, who they paid attention to, and their mother was trying to nurture them and show them the way of being a woman, a good woman, not a stay-at-home wife. Don't get it twisted, but a good woman. Not always in the club, in the bar. Got to go party and kick it with the girls every other night, every damn single thing, and then be upset when their girls be tripping or they feel like their girls was sending the signal that they was tripping on them and come and talk to the man and tell us about it. Nah, we don't want that attitude. We don't want that type of woman. We don't want that type of woman. We want the type of woman of know how to be a woman, not being a man. Because the man is already here. If I wanted a man, I would be gay. And I would want a man. Nah, that ain't happening and it ain't popping. So why would I want a woman that thinks she's a man also? It's cool to have a strong black woman, but not a strong black woman with an attitude that thinks she's more masculine than a man.
I can't believe it.
What do you think it is?
That men, they're just as cocky as women. They feel like they should have a certain type of woman, just like we feel like we should have a certain type of man. That's just a fact. So it's like men make it such a big rah about women wanting a certain, we want to raise our standards or be a certain way. But men, y'all want a certain type of women, knowing that we are damaged from other men. You got us, sorry, you ain't get us fresh out with no experience from no other man, no trauma, no nothing, you know what I mean? Like, granted, yeah, people say you start a clean slate, but once a movement is, it's kind of like a trigger warning, like if something happened, like if you moved a certain way, dang, man, I remember, okay, so that's how all men must move. So I gotta adjust myself.
What do you think women are doing wrong?
Oh, man, like I said, we definitely can't, communication definitely needs to help, happen, a better way of communicating for women, for sure.
What is that better way?
Huh?
What is the better way? Because we say it a lot, but we never actually define it. I think women are terrible listeners.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, I guess I can only speak for myself with that. Because I can listen. I listen very well. I think the only issue is when people think I'm not listening just because I don't. Because my response is my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
And that's true. Your response is your opinion. It's not for the nation of women, of African American women. It's just your opinion. But we wanted to ask you to get a concept of how do most black women think that don't really want to be with a black man. And most blame it on this, that, jobs, damage. Like she said, we're damaged. But women come damaged too from ex-past relationships. It's a fair trade, but he's asking about you. He's telling you about us. And she keeps making it about her, but like she said, it's her opinion in what she's saying.
A lot of times, like, I hear you, I understand what you're saying, or more so my perspective. I'm giving you my perspective. Not necessarily saying that you're wrong, but I mean, at the end of the day, what you saying?
Has that been effective?
I think so.
Explain.
Come on.
I guess sometimes people just need to come, or when it comes to me, come to me and tell me that you're venting, and not that you don't want a conversation. Because when I'm supposed to, you just sit here and like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But isn't venting a part of a conversation? When you vent, you are exposing your feelings, your things that you're going through in your day-to-day thoughts and how you feel that you are treated. So, and your input is a conversation. It builds on top if you respond.
No, I'm going to give you a conversation, or we're going to talk about it.
But my question, has that been effective? Like your disposition towards conversation, has that been effective? Or is it just one of those things, you just got to take the good with the bad?
Oh, yeah, you got to take the good with the bad. I mean, I got to say, everybody got to say good and bad. I mean, if not, then we just only looking for good. And now y'all in Thailand trying to go ahead and get.
But you don't think that's a problem? And then my question to you is then, like, why would a man who's done the work to become a 1% dude deal with that?
Oh, now 1% man, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I know he's not a regular man. You feel me? I know I don't have to. I guess what we thrive for, and it's like, it'll be so awesome even if the non-1%ers could even have the mindset of the 1%ers, because it's really the mindset and the domination and the for sureness, the confidence, I am who I am because I build who I am. A lot of Black men don't know who they are. So it's like we're trying to help. As I said, it's only gonna take Black men to help other Black men.
But as majority of the time, it's the young cats. The younger the man is, the not much fully matured the brain is, far as knowing how to treat a woman. If you agree or disagree, I feel that now I get a little older, around like 28, 30s, going into the 30s, then yeah, he about knows exactly what he wants. But right at a young age, that man, he's just partying. He's partying. He ain't ready. So you're judging off of a young cat compared to a middle-aged cat.
Figure out who they are.
So that sounds good. Here's the problem. When Kevin Samuels was talking about like why he transitioned, because at first he was talking about men, why he transitioned to talking about women, he said that as I was coaching these men, as I was improving them, and they make a lot of money. These men make $300,000, $200,000 a year. Teaching them how to dress, style, the whole nine. They came back and told me that they couldn't find any good women. Mm-hmm. When I hear a lot of women talk about that, a lot of times it's, they're not trying hard enough, or how can they not find good women with this ratio? There's never any talk of what the women are doing wrong. And Black women are doing a lot of things wrong, but they don't want to take any responsibility for it. Why is that?
Are y'all saying what we doing wrong?
Y'all don't listen. You give your opinion.
Okay. But we supposed to just sit here and just be like, what if you're wrong? We gonna let you be wrong? Y'all want us to let y'all be wrong. No. That's what it was. Or more folk figure it out.
But it depends on who's telling you this. Like if because at the end of the day, I don't think you should listen to Pookie and Ray Ray, right?
Exactly.
But the reason I don't think you should be listening to them is because you shouldn't be dealing with them in the first place.
Exactly.
But here's the problem. Mm-hmm. A lot of women pick Pookie and Ray Ray.
How many Pookie and Ray Rays you think is out here?
A lot of Pookie and Ray Ray.
Exactly.
But my point is, you pick Pookie and Ray Ray, you don't have the ability to identify a high value man. If a high value nigga walked past a lot of women, they wouldn't be able to identify, because he ain't got the swag and all that other bullshit that people like. But then when you get that high value man, you treat him like Pookie and Ray Ray. And then it's still his fault when he decides, I don't want to deal with that.
I told you. He should have set the standards early.
What should she have done?
She?
Yeah, what should she have done? Because you said
The more I would say study men. Date more. Like date different type of men. That's the only way we're gonna know. That's the only way we're gonna know men are different.
You don't think that like adds more baggage?
I agree with her. And date more men. But how can you date more men at one time trying to get to know this one guy? This is in my thing. I was always trying to date. And I always told a female, like, are you talking to somebody else at the same time you're talking to me? Because it's going to be hard for you to focus and get to know me when you're trying to focus and get to know him also. And then you're going to get us all confused and mixed up. You can't do that. I mean, you can date. If you're just single and you just want to date, cool, do that. But if you're trying to get to know somebody, don't have plenty of dudes that you just want to date, go out to dinner with, because this guy is offering to take you out to dinner and you acting like you trying to get to know him, or you acting like you're trying to get to know the other guy, and you put the guy that's nice on the back burner because of some things that you saw with your eyes and caught on. See, your standards. Some women's standards is fucked up, just like a lot of men's standards is fucked up. They want all the beauty and all that shit, but shit, that beauty come with a lot of craziness too. So yeah, shorty, date one person at a time, get to know that guy. That's how I feel. How you can go ahead and get to know somebody, but not multiples at the same time.
Dating more men?
No. Men. I mean, I'm not saying have sex with more men. I'm saying just date. It's hard. It's hard. Because it's hard because naturally men, I guess that's really what they do.
But my question is, if Black women have it so figured out, but you guys act like you do.
Because we're confident.
It's bullshit though. It's not real
confidence. If y'all were
confidence.
as confident as we were, we would be on a whole nother planet. Black.
Now, what she just said, confidence. We're going to end that there on that note, because I don't want to use all this man footage, because I want to continue from where she left off. Confidence. But confidence also comes in, what are we doing outside our relationship? Are we doing something great? Are we doing something evil? Are we doing something fucked up? Are we doing something conniving? Are we doing something good for our community? Are we just lazy out here? Are we just what? Because my Black woman, I love my Black woman. I love women. I love all race of women. They're beautiful. Big, small, skinny, tall. Yo, as long as you a woman and you ain't got that thing swinging, that third leg, that kickstand between your legs, yo, we good. Because I can't do it no more. Hell no. I ain't gonna say no more, but I had a bad, whoo. Yo, it was so bad experience. I almost caught a murder charge. And that's from dating. Back then, it wasn't chat room. It was chat rooms, but it was chat rooms online on the phone. And I was talking, and she seemed nice. And I took the bus all the way from one side of the town to the other side of the town. It was about like 13 miles. I didn't even have a car then. I was young. I was about like probably 18, probably 19, 20, around there. And the lady, she came to the door. I mean, it looked like a woman, but it wasn't a damn woman after the night progressed. Because now we trying to chill. But anyway, it ain't about me. Just know I almost caught that murder case. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Let's do the damn thing. Going back with my man, Dr. UmarJonhson. Yo, another reason why some masculine women are so over the masculinity, they just forget about the man. They treat the man like a straight bitch. I'm going to say like Jada and Will, for an example. Jada basically is wearing the pants, and Will is wearing the skirt, the pants, and the fucking high heels and lipstick at the same damn time. Because he's confused because he's so in love with this woman. He's willing to do whatever. And he also is willing to take the punches and just say yes, 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 yes. But she's fucking you up. So let's get on this right here. This is real important. Real important.
You're the only one not being honest, Umar. You're not being honest.
If we
Find the clip. We don't have to argue about it. We don't have to argue about it. Find the
You
clip.
just admitted to it. We don't need
Find
to.
the
60
clip.
seconds against black men. First of all, I want to see where you all stand just by a yes or no. Dr. Umar, is there? Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Hope, is there?
No.
Dwan?
Absolutely, yes.
Cynthia G, where are you on this?
The only war is the war that black men are waging against the black community.
So is that a yes or no?
Yes, there is.
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, we have to make sure that we conduct a systems analysis and an institutional assessment. Communities are made up of institutions or the lack thereof. Communities are governed by systems or the lack thereof. Let us be very clear about something. This fratricide, this black on black crime that so many of our brothers are engaging in, let us remember Irish did the same thing. Italians did the same thing. European Jews did the same thing. And in the 1930s and 1940s, the United States government decided to upgrade them to white status, and in so doing, gave the Italians control of the fire departments in the black community, gave the Irish control of the police departments in the black community, and gave the European Jewish immigrants control of the civil service municipal jobs that they still control in many city centers today. The point that I'm making, Tammy, is that America gave Southern European immigrants an economic stimulus package. Before they gave that economic stimulus package to Jews, Irish, and Italians, they were doing the exact same thing black men are doing today, selling drugs, breaking the law, running in gangs.
Did you know that you could get $50,000 to over $150,000 of investment capital at 0%?
Killing one another, but the government intervened and aided them. The reason black male pathology is still going on 30, 40, 50 years later is there has been no resolution, there have been no solutions, and there have been no governmental intervention. With that being said, I'm not waiting on the government to solve the problems of black men. We as black men have to unite, come together, organize, and solve our own problems. Just because we can admit that the government introduced pathology into the black community, we can still take full responsibility for ending it ourselves.
Hope, I see you nodding.
Yes, because I feel like when you can name all of these things so eloquently and so beautifully, and yet y'all still fail at being able to do these things after years and years and years and years and years of trying, where do we find a new solution? Or that we're fighting for black men is the one that black men are fighting within themselves. Is it about adjacency to whiteness? Is it about being able to assimilate to that white hand? Or is it really about the freedom of black men in the black family and the black community? They want to assimilate to whatever whiteness, whatever white male privilege they get. And that's a large part of the problem.
Dr. Umar, you welcomed us to the show by saying Black Power. Black Power, okay. Is there some truth to the assimilation that black men want or perceive to want when it comes to this war being waged against you?
Well, there's definitely some truth to it, but I think that truth is also evident in black women. Black men, many of them may choose to want a white woman, but many black women choose to look like white women. So we have to look at ourselves and we have to recognize that the pathology is not more of one gender than the other. That's the issue I have with conversations that seek to see who is more at fault, the black man or the black woman. It's not about who's more at fault. We rise together or we will perish together. The black man cannot survive without his woman, and the black woman cannot survive without her man. And the issue that I take with my two sisters' narrative is I hear a lot of criticism. I hear a lot of condemnation, but I don't hear any empowerment. I don't hear any solutions coming from either one of them. It appears as if that there is a hatred towards black men by those sisters. Even when they said, why are we going back to 1960? Let's stay in 2022. That is so immature and irresponsible of a statement. As a psychologist, when a client comes into my office, the first thing I perform is a history on their depression, a history on their suicide, a history on their anxiety. When you go see the medical doctor, he performs a history. When you go buy a home, they perform a history. When you go purchase an automobile, they perform a history on that automobile. But when we talk about the problems that affect Black males, we're supposed to look at it in a vacuum. We're not supposed to put it in a historical context. And with that being said, the language and the narrative that's coming out of the mouth of these two Black women is one that I think the white power structure would endorse, because it totally absolves them of any responsibility for the hell Black men catch in this country.
Cynthia G, you did say, why are we going all the way back to 1960? There is some truth to history when it comes to evaluating anything or anyone. So what do you say to that?
I say we should go to the historical context, because what I have not heard from Dr. UmarJonhson, or I think his name is Dwayne, is what I have not heard as they're mentioning all of the things that was done to them. I haven't heard what you did in response to it. So I would like to know, what did you do in response in history, other than go to the Supreme Court and petition to have access to the men's women that you're complaining and accusing of disenfranchising you? See, because in the 1960s, what Black men were really doing, and it's been documented, many civil rights leaders have admitted to it, what Black men were doing is chasing the white man's woman, trying to so-called stick it to him by way of going to their women, which you should have been doing is trying to get liberation for yourself. What you should have been trying to do is get that foot off your neck. But see, the foot is not on your neck. And the only time you recognize it being on your neck is when you want to get away with doing something that you think white men are getting away with doing. Because let's just be real. Whenever we hear about this war against Black men, it's usually being brought up when there's a Black man like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, we see Trey Songz going through it, Ari Spears, when they engage in some degeneracy, and then they're getting a consequence for it. And Black men think that because they perceive white men to be getting away with crimes, they want to be able to get away with crimes as well. The reality is, Dr. Umar can sit up here and list all the different ways that the system is disenfranchising Black men and Black men in a victim vote. But the reality is, what he cannot tell you is what Black men did in response to it, because they did nothing. They laid down and they nested under the skirt of their non-Black preferences, and only to complain that whenever they commit a crime, they're not getting off like they did.
So let's find out.
I think she's been drinking too much of that big ass bottle of Patron sitting on her mantle, because she's totally way above the message where the lady is asking the question. She's tripping. She's way tripping. Oh my goodness. I mean, like, damn, lady, slow down, chill out, relax. He's not even on you like that. He's answering the questions, and now you're trying to make it a point at him and us, the Black men.
Dr. Umar, what have Black men done?
Well, number one, again, I think that it is such a shame, coming from a psychological perspective, that we seek to heal our wounds as a people by relying on unprofessional testimony by individuals who have a vendetta against the opposite gender in their community. When you hear Sister Cynthia speak, you can hear a hurt and a pain and a hatred towards Black men. We cannot.
I hear it, and I see it.
Find an effective solution to Black male-female relationship issues or the oppression of Black men or Black women when the people at the table having the conversation have negative, emotional, and pathological interests in the conversation that are not.
Umar, the question wasn't about my emotional state. The question was, what did Black men do in response to their disenfranchisement? Yeah, because you're trying to pathologize my emotional state, not knowing that I'm a psychologist too. But what you're not doing is telling us what Black men did.
I believe he'll get there, Dr. Umar.
May I finish?
Dr. Umar.
And I'll end it quickly, Sister Tammy. According to Mrs. Cynthia G. Dr.
That was crazy. I just want to intervene 1 quick second. That was crazy. Now see how he sat there and took it like a man, while she tried to pinpoint it towards him and us, the black man race. But when he put it against her, she couldn't handle it. So now she thinks she's trying to correct something, but she's about to look stupid. Very, very stupid. Like, it's like she don't like the black man race. Now, the other black sister on the other side, she's cool. But the other one, Cynthia, no.
King was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Malcolm X was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Medgar Evers was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Fred Hampton was assassinated because he was doing nothing. That narrative that black men have done nothing to fight back against systemic oppression, not only against ourselves, but against our women, our children, our elders, and our community is absolutely ridiculous. The cemetery is filled with black men, names we know and names we don't know, who gave their life for the freedom, liberation, and emancipation of African people. How can you disrespect the history of so many black men, past and present, who continue to fight? I'm sitting in a school right now that we built with all black money, 4 buildings that we're going to educate black men in. It's not easy to solve our problems because there's always black people in your very same community who's fighting against what you're trying to do to help it. But in addition to that, the white power structure is always waving its wand of oppression to try to sabotage anything we do. I think that the analysis of our women is too overly simplistic, and in being such, it is dishonest.
They've done so much. You've only listed names and not accomplishments, though.
I can list some accomplishments.
Is she crazy? Is she? Hold on. She says she is she got a PhD in psychology. Is she crazy though? Did she put thought to the names? He just put out the names. The accomplishments? Did you hear the names? Miss Cynthia G. Miss Cynthia Ma. Is that weave too tight, glued into your fucking scalp so hard where you can't understand the words that is coming out of this man's mouth? The accomplishments are the names. The names have done accomplishments, died trying for the accomplishments. Like he said, there's a graveyard. Man, this lady right here.
Okay, when it comes down to it, what have black men done since the 60s? We've turned around and we're still inventing things. We still open up businesses. Here in LA, you got black businesses all around town. So when black men do build things and we build things on individual basis, you're not going to see an NBC special about what the great black man built. When Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, and J. Prince tried to put together a distribution, they all got charges the next week. So it's not like we don't build things. When we do build things, something always ends up seeming to happening. And in spite of that, you've seen the most black business male ownership that's gone up in the last 60 years since the coronavirus. We still doing it. I personally got 3 businesses, so I don't know what you're talking about. I employ young black men. I've helped thousands of black children here in South Central LA. So all this black men ain't doing nothing. Where are you kicking it at?
So how are black men creating all these businesses and still costing the government $50 billion a year?
The black sister over here on the left-hand side of my screen, she is cool. Cynthia with the tight wig weave is feeling some type of way. Because now she's getting rebuttal checked on. She can't handle the truth. She's steady stabbing, trying to find a soft spot into what she's saying that the black man hasn't accomplished anything within our community or that cares for our women, children, even adults, our elders. This woman is just trying to tear us down. Black woman over here, she's cool. She got her points too. But she's more cooler than Cynthia G.
hold that
Here's
thought.
the
I want
one
to get
thing that is
I want to
being
get Hope in
ignored.
here real quick, Dr. Umar. I want to get Hope in here because Dr. Umar listed a plethora of black men that we know, and I'm assuming he listed the ones that we know so that we can identify and all agree that these black men have done something in terms of the fight for equality in America. How do you feel about those men that he listed, Hope? Have they done anything for the black community or not?
Most definitely, I would be ignorant to say that they haven't, right? But I think that what we're failing to realize is that when we have this conversation about what Black men have done, the consequences are usually because of white supremacy and the gaze of white folks on us are that the Black men are then taken away and the Black women have to then sustain those things. Dr. Umar, you're right. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that you said, but you're absolutely right. It's not about the idea of who's doing it better or trying to, the pissing match of the oppression Olympics amongst Black people, but it's really about working together. The problem is what I find in working together is that the Black man wants to lead, whether he's acquired the gumption and the knowledge to be able to do so appropriately and effectively or not. The thing about it is when you're working together, we are a team. You get to lead this portion because you're better at it. I get to lead that portion because I'm better at it. And then we come to a common ground for both of us to succeed. But a lot of the times when we're talking about these
I agree, sister. I agree on that. There's all special professional certifications for each position in life or any type of machine you're trying to run or any type of plan or group you're trying to run or any community. I agree with you on that.
succession plans and we're making all of these advocacy movements in order to progress the Black family, the Black man says, listen to me or fail. Right? As if Black women have nothing to contribute to that. And I think that that's where the problem is. That's where the discourse needs to happen is how do we work together so that Black men understand that we are meant to work side by side and not with me following you with my head down and saying, yes, that's our master. Because that is me being subservient to you in a way that I might not want to do, especially considering if you do not have the credentials, the know-how, the wherewithal, or the lived experiences to lead me in a way that I might be better suited to do in this point of our journey. And
Dr.
Black
Umar.
Well, first of all, I do not endorse any kind of a second-class citizenship role for Black women. I believe Black women have as much to offer as do Black men. So I'm not sure who the Queen is referring to because I am not a misogynist and I do not support that type of narrative that said the Black woman's position is only to have children and to prepare food. But at the same time, I think Black women have to look at themselves because although white supremacy has been the greatest enemy of the progress of Black men, you would also have to argue that Black women have probably been the greatest accomplice to supporting the white power structure in their destruction of Black males, i.e. the conversation we're having right now, where two intelligent Black women have yet to indict white supremacy for the role that they play in the destabilization of the lives of Black men.
Is white supremacy responsible for any of the Black man's plight at all?
Absolutely, it exists. And Black men have worked in tandem with white supremacy since they've become in contact with it. And this is why I say in the Black community, we have very disingenuous, very dishonest discussions, especially when it's regarding Black men, because we do have a Black male worshiping culture. So what we do within that culture, and UmarJonhson is showing it today, is absolve Black men from any accountability for what they've done. Number one, we wouldn't be in a system of white supremacy had it not been for Black men.
You see how she wanted to bring it back because she couldn't say it earlier. So now she bring it back to Umar. That was childish. That was a childish shot, but it's a debate. So let's do the damn thing.
So if you want to go all the way back to history, then let's go back to history when Black men were selling their own people into white supremacy. Let's go back into history when 16 years off the plantation, Black men were worried about a war being waged on them. They were worried about getting access to white women. That's what you were worried about. And it's interesting. There's a reason why I feel like Umar focused mostly on me and Hope's attitudes, and it's because he can't accurately answer the question. He mentioned names, not accomplishments. And the reason being is because
I think he mentioned those names specifically because the accomplishments of those people don't have to be explained.
Duh. Thank you, Tammy Mack. Tammy Mack. Thank you for refereeing her ass. You had to referee her ass and throw a flag on the play. This bitch don't get it. She don't get it. So Tammy had to step in. You go, girl.
Right, but those accomplishments are also accomplishments that I've heard UmarJonhson speak negatively about, specifically the civil rights movement and how damaging it was to Black people. But now he wants to sit here and say the very people who accomplished that were accomplishing something beneficial when, in his own opinion, that wasn't beneficial.
Hey, what's up? My friend Calicanai here, and welcome to, I guess what you might call
and did more harm to the community than good. So I think that because we're having such a dishonest discussion where Black men don't want to take accountability for what they've done, they want to be the victims of society, but then they want submission from the women. The bottom line is I'm not willing to deflect from the fact that number one, Black men are the greatest non-white contributors to white supremacy. Let's just be real. White supremacy couldn't even exist without Black men's compliance. They're always uplifting whiteness, biracial children, and trying to assimilate. And that.
Wait, stop. Wait, Cynthia G, influencer and YouTuber. Look at your hair. What are you trying to be accepted by? White people, right? You got a PhD in psychology, right? You need customers. You need people to come and get advice from you. But you're trying to keep this sleek weave hair type of persona. You're light-skinned, okay? You're not an ugly female. You're beautiful. But you're trying to be accepted by these white people. And these white people that hire women like you, oh yeah, they hire you, but they also got an ulterior motive behind it. So are you talking about that? You're not talking about that, are you? See that bottle of Patron, maybe you need to take a sip and come out with the truth. Take another sip and come out with the double truth, because you're not getting it. Why your hair like that? Why you ain't rocking it nappy? Why you ain't rocking it with the braids and the French braids, huh? Why you talking so grammarly proper? I mean, I know you want an interview, but I ain't buying it.
That's why I went back to the notion of the only time Black men truly feel like there's a war against them is when they feel like they're being punished for something white men do. At the end of the day, y'all dropped the ball.
We dropped the ball. You have a white. I bet $100 you are dating a white man. You are dating a white man, and you're trying to really have their backs because you're dating a white man, and you're trying to put down the Black man so hard that you don't even fucking get it, because you messing around with this white man that's probably making more money than you and paying everything and paid for you to go to college, get your diploma, your degree, and everything. That's why you're so sleek and so slender, huh? So light-skinned and so dandy. So bougie and clueless.
You're blaming white supremacy on your failures. We already know there's oppression, but Black women are double oppressed. We have more barriers to face. You have male privilege in a patriarchal system, and you can't even get it right.
Well, Dr. Umar, I think we all know your stance on interracial marriages.
Absolutely, but let me also
so please acknowledge what the rest of what Cynthia G has said.
Absolutely, I'm not sure where Sister Cynthia took history class, but if you know anything about the transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise.
I'm talking about the sub-Saharan. I'm talking about the sub-Saharan slave trade. You should go look into it.
Excuse me.
You address me.
May I finish?
Go look into the sub-Saharan slave trade where Black men are trading their women and children for alcohol and tobacco.
May I finish?
Go ahead, Dr. Umar.
The transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise. It was not an African enterprise. Although there were some chiefs who participated in it, by no means did they control the direction and extension of the transatlantic slave trade. So that's number one. Number two, Black men resisted enslavement, not only on the shores of Africa, but right here in America. We celebrate Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser. There's literally hundreds of documented attempts by African men to liberate not only themselves, but their women and their children. So to act like we just sat there and we're complicit in our own oppression is absolutely ridiculous. The other point I want to clarify for your information, Cynthia G, you've never, ever heard me condemn the civil rights movement. The good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is a hero of mine. And despite me being a Pan-African nationalist, I take issue with other Black nationalists who do want to dismiss Dr. King's accomplishment. The civil rights movement was necessary because it removed a psychological scar that suggested of racial inferiority. So you've never heard me deride the civil rights movement. I support it, although I took certain issues with it. The bottom line is when Black women, Black girls, Black boys listen to this conversation we're having today, they're going to be confused because they hear two brothers speaking of a greater context to the problems that affect Black men, and you hear two Black women who want to keep scapegoating Black men while ignoring the historical and contemporary systemic challenges that are constantly placed in our way.
And in my last episode, on 25 episode, Dr. UmarJonhson, I had him talk about Tyler Perry's son. And Tyler Perry's son Tyler Perry never talked to his son about race or the history of the race behind it, because his son is going to a private school where he doesn't even acknowledge his friends has a race, Puerto Rican, white, Caucasian, none of that. So what he's talking about, I feel that. And it's a problem with that because you got to suppress that. I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you're the king. It's always a history. And it must be suppressed. It must be told to our children. And that's when you're saying, okay, yeah, our kids are going to be confused listening to Cynthia G and this other sister over here.
I'm going to say this and be quiet, Sister Tammy. I got to give you this. There was a recent piece of research, Tammy, that came out. And the research said a Black man with a master's degree, they did a study. They had white males who had come out of prison apply for jobs. They had Black men with master's degrees, Sister Tammy, apply for the jobs. And guess what? The white males with prison history and no education were called back more than 75% of the time than Black men with no prison history and a master's degree.
I'm aware of that. I am aware of that survey. I am. Hope, I saw you give Dr. Umar the side eye.
It's only because.
Wait. Did you see Cynthia after they took the camera off of Umar, Dr. Umar? Did you see Cynthia said, yeah, whatever? She didn't say whatever, but her body language did it. I'm gonna take it back so you can see that. This sister over here is very ignorant, and you can tell she gotta have a white dude. Or something, or somebody is looking out for her in her career, but she's so much on it. She's on it too tough. I want you to see this. Watch her body now. Watch when the cameras go back to everybody cammed up. And as soon as everybody cammed up, watch Cynthia's body's action is ignorant.
They're Black men with no prison history and a master's degree.
I'm aware of that. I am aware of that survey. I am. Hope, I saw you give Dr. Umar the side eye.
It's only because I can't. You have 1,001 clips on the internet, but I know for a fact that one of the things that I was offended about in doing research or just seeing you on the internet is that you have definitely talked about your disdain for some of the practices of Dr. Martin Luther King. So to sit here and gaslight us as if most of us have not seen.
That's not true. Find the clip. Find the clip.
Well, Dr. Umar, you yourself said you yourself just seconds ago said you did find some things in the civil rights movement problematic.
But I supported the movement and I still support it.
Dr. King was not a Pan-Africanist, but one of my greatest heroes. Dr. King knew it was Garveyism to get back. He was moving in that direction. He said, Malcolm is gone, Garvey is gone. I got to hold it down. I got to hold it down. And he held it down, brothers and sisters. That's why whenever I go to Atlanta, I got to pay homage to the king. 39 years old. At 32, he was the unquestioned leader of Black America at 32 years old. You can't say nothing to me about no Dr. King.
I visit
everyone supported
every
it.
time I'm in Atlanta. Nobody, I have never been
as a black man,
of
you know, as
the
a black person in
If
America.
we're going to have the conversation, let us be honest. Let's not misrepresent.
You're the only one not being honest, Umar. You're not being honest.
If we
find the clip, we don't have to argue about it. We don't have to argue about it. Find
You just admitted to it. We don't need a clip.
Damn, they ain't even let my little dude over here talk. He just patiently waiting, and they all beefing with Dr. Umar. Can we all just get along and have a debate, have a talk about truth, which we all need to go ahead and correct everything. Nobody's not perfect on this world. As an individual or nobody. I ain't perfect. You're not perfect. She's not perfect. He's not perfect. Our children's not perfect. So if there's some conflict in which we're talking about, let's fix that and let's get it together, people. Because we got a bigger monster coming. We got a bigger situation coming. And it's coming.
60 seconds left on the 60 seconds left on this segment. We won't be able to find the clip on this show. But Hope, finish. Hope.
Essentially, whether we find the clip or not, we know that those things have been said, and you know that you've said controversial things. Once again, we see you moving the goalpost when you find
controversial according to who?
We find, once again, because my thing is you and Cynthia can have that dynamic, but I give you the space to speak. I've given everybody that space to speak, so please don't interrupt me. At the end of the day,
you interrupted me as well. Let's be fair.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
And so once again, here we go in a space where Black women are making a point. It's more important to the
It's
Black
not about you being a woman. It was about you being incorrect.
When Black women
you
are
being a woman. I respect you. You were incorrect. You were incorrect. I didn't have.
Oh my goodness. She struck hard. She said, here we go once again, where I'm trying to explain where the Black woman is correct. Damn, that struck me. That hit me hard. Like, hold up. If I was Dr. Umar, I had to be quiet. I had to be quiet. That was crazy. I'm taking it back so y'all can see that.
Hope, finish. Hope.
Essentially, whether we find the clip or not, we know that those things have been said, and you know that you've said controversial things. Once again, we see you moving the goalpost when you find
controversial according to who?
We find, once again, because my thing is you and Cynthia can have that dynamic, but I give you the space to speak. I've given everybody that space to speak, so please don't interrupt me. At the end of the day,
you interrupted me as well. Let's be fair.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
And so once again, here we go in a space where Black women are making a point. It's more important to the
It's not about you being a woman. It was about you being incorrect.
When Black women are
being a woman. I respect you. You were incorrect. You were incorrect. I didn't have the issue with a woman. You were incorrect.
Well, let's all breathe in, breathe out, and I'll take a commercial break. All right?
She said something that was
We'll take a commercial break.
He's not incorrect.
To wrap this up on the business of being Black.
They hate Black men. That's the problem. One of the problems with the conversation, not with you, Tammy, but the responses, they're so individualized. Nothing is being evaluated from a group perspective or a community perspective or a systems perspective or an institutional perspective. The bottom line is anything Black men want to do to liberate ourselves or our community, we can't do it without our women. And anything our women want to do to liberate themselves or the community, they can't do it without the men. It is not a competition. It should be a collaboration. But once again, some of us in the conversation are so filled with hatred for the opposite gender that we can never get around to talking about solutions. And in speaking of clips, Sister Tammy, there is one clip you might want to ask Sister Cynthia about, because it was sent to me by about 30 people several months ago, maybe even weeks, where she suggested that women, Black women, should abort their Black male fetuses because after birth, they would not contribute to anything worthwhile in the Black community. Could you ask her to clarify her comments?
I would love to.
Women,
well, I would love to too, but we don't
abort?
have time. So,
Yo, that was a nice discussion and it was crazy, but you saw the ignorance in the room, and the elephant made a lot of points. My sister Hope, she made some points and she was thunder. She was, woo, man. But the whole thing is, did we get the message? Did Cynthia G get the message? Because I hope that sister got the message. I hope she did, but I don't think she do. She's too under the white man's thorn whip. She's getting whipped. She's getting whipped. During sex, she's getting whipped. During breakfast, she's getting whipped. During her career, she's getting whipped. Because he's controlling that. She ain't controlling that. I don't think so. I don't think she's controlling shit. But her lips around that white man's, you know what I mean? She ain't for it. And that I don't even know what to say because I'm struck. I didn't know it's females out there that's like that want to tear our history down, our black man's down, our community down. Because when you tear us down, if I tear a woman down, if I tear a gay dude down, I'm tearing down the community, the history, the everything. Everything falls down once I do that. Once I be ignorant to the point where I don't know no better, but I should know better because I'm here. What high school did she graduate from? Did she take American history? Did she even take history, black history, even when it wasn't being pressed in the school system? But now, I'm on to another topic now. We're moving on, y'all. We're moving on. But these are the topics. Ain't no way in hell the NCAACP can do this. Ain't no way in the hell. Ain't no way in the hell. Who is this? He's just a kid. Or she's just a kid. And Will Smith and Jada Pinkett is not the only weirdos out here, y'all. Like I said, they got an agenda. Not Dwayne Wade, not Will Smith. Hollywood has one, but the one that's puppeteering Hollywood and our government has an agenda. It's strong. And this is crazy when it reached to the NAACP. Y'all want to hear it? Here you go.
All I've wanted to do was get it right. I've sat back and watched how gracefully you've taken on the public scrutiny. And even though it's not easy, I watched you walk out of that house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our world. I admire it that you face every day. To say that your village is proud of you is an understatement. Thank you for showing me that there's more than just one way to communicate effectively. You've taught me that communication with my mouth isn't enough. I have to also communicate with my 2 ears and my 2 eyes. As your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future. My role is to be a facilitator to your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. You've made me a better human just simply by being who you were born to be, our baby girl, Zaya Wade.
I am here to talk about a very serious issue. I will not joke about it. There's nothing funny. A couple of days ago, Mr. Dwayne Wade and his beautiful wife, Gabrielle Union, accepted an NAACP Image Award on behalf of their biologically born son.
Excuse me, Dr. Umar, but to all my studio audience and people that's listening and watching, my viewers, please press the like button. It's very important. I'm saying sincerely, not forcefully. But if you don't press it, you must be a hater because it's free to do. Just press it, subscribe. And yo, I'm on topics that's I can wake up my people. I'm not an activist. I'm not a leader. I can be in mode to help my peoples wake up that's in the community that just wake up every day, go to work, and think nothing of life. Because there's a lot of shit that they're trying to move up under our noses, and it's shiesty. They did the slave thing, and I ain't trying to let them move anything else up on our nose. So please press the like button. I appreciate you. And if my video stops, it stops because the wind is blowing crazy outside. It is not that the power around here my area once. So if it goes out, it's not me. It's not my studio. It's an act of God because the wind is blowing crazy. But you want to hear it? Here you go. Let's do the damn thing.
Not Gabrielle's biologically born son. She's just the stepmother. But a child who was born Zion Wade as a biological male 15 years ago was just granted the legal right to change both his gender and his name. And this, for some, is a cause of celebration. Not only am I wearing my activist hat as I discuss this most sensitive and controversial issue, but I'm putting on my doctor of clinical psychology hat. I'm putting on my child therapist hat. I'm putting on my educator hat. I'm putting on my certified school psychologist hat. Now, there's two comments that Dwayne Wade made in his acceptance speech that I'm having trouble with. And I want to say right from the gate, I'm not here to pile on to all of the other criticism that the Wades are receiving as a result of this situation. I feel how I feel, but I think I feel it for different reasons. Because as a statesman for the African race, any type of scheme or scam, campaign or agenda ran on African children that threatens the survival of our people is something I have to speak out against. And so I'm going to offer my comments and criticism with the greatest respect. And I want to affirm that I do not support, encourage, nor condone violence against any human being for reason of race, class, culture, religion, sexual orientation, or sexual preference. Zaya Wade should not be harmed, no matter how much we may disagree with that child's parent allowing this to happen. No homosexual, no lesbian, no bisexual, no transgender, no intersex or asexual person should be harmed for what they have done. I do not support violence against LGBTQ or against anybody else. No way, no how. I don't support it. I disagree with the lifestyle, but I do not advocate violence against anyone, and I want to make this very clear. Because when we have these conversations with the rainbow community, there's always this agenda to try to turn people who disagree with the rainbow agenda into people who wish harm against the rainbow people. That is a lie, it is dishonest, and it is disingenuous, and I would hope that members of the rainbow community would have enough maturity to not try to paint people as enemies just because they don't support your decision. With that being said, I'm concerned that the NAACP, although a white funded, founded, and controlled organization, I have a problem with the fact that the NAACP would give an award to a child and his family. I have a problem with the fact that the NAACP would give an award to a child and his family for undergoing mutilation of their reproductive organs. I have a problem with that. I have a problem. All the things Black children are doing out here worthy of recognition. All of the things Black children are doing out here worthy of recognition. All of the things Black children are doing out here worthy of recognition. You have Black children inventing things. You have Black children scoring extremely high on these white racist standardized tests. You have Black children saving people's lives. You have Black children starting their own businesses and becoming multimillionaires. You have Black children out here engaging in some of the greatest humanitarian work we have ever seen, but you don't award them. You don't highlight that. Instead, you highlight a confused child who has been allowed by parents and society to physically mutilate himself. Destroy forever his God-given obligation to reproduce himself. And the NAACP is going to hold that example up as the example of a hero.
No.
That organization has never been what we needed it to be. I used to be a member. I started a chapter in college. And I'm officially done with the NAACP until there is a change of direction. You've never been a revolutionary group. You spend all your time and money registering black people to go vote for white people. You do nothing else. You fight against nothing relevant, but you found time to create an award for a child abuse victim who was allowed by parents and society to mutilate himself sexually and change into something that God did not intend him to be. This is insane. And what makes this situation even more ridiculous is the fact that in the field of psychology, which I've studied for nearly 30 years, probably more than, in the field of child psychology, we are taught expressly that children don't know who they are, that children will flirt and fantasize about all types of identities that they want to assume. And that adolescence and pre-adolescence is a time for children to explore who they are becoming, not to select it.
Preach it.
If you read the books on child development put out by white psychologists and child development experts, it tells you children don't know who they are.
Don't cut his dick off, D.Wades. Don't cut his dick off, Wade. Come on, man. Where's the Boosie?
And they have to go through the growing pains to find out who they are. So you want me to believe that Zion Wade, a biological boy, turned 11 or 12 years old, and all of a sudden, he's able to defy all logic and common sense as it relates to child development. And at the age of 11 or 12, he now knows as a biological preteen. He started going through this as a preteen, as a biological preteen. He's now intelligent enough and worldly enough and experienced enough to make a decision as a preteen that I don't want to have children as a man. I don't want to live as a man. And I want to spend the rest of my life as an artificial female. You are out of your mind.
Come on, people. Not just my black people, my people all around the world. I'm pretty sure you will not do this to your child and give them this freedom to do this, to make a decision for them, to tell them it's okay. If that's what you want, you can do it. Hell no, man. Y'all smoking crack now? Y'all doing amphetamine, doing fentanyl? What the hell is y'all? No. Money, I don't care how much money a person got. This is not okay. This is not okay. Y'all going too far. It's too far. And I'm upset. That's why I downloaded this so it can get across. I'm upset about this. Dwayne Wade, man, if you want to be a female, man, you transition yourself to a female and be a, because that's what you would anyway, taking up that. You taking it. And you living your life through your son because he came to you and said, okay, well, He got to wait it out. Got to wait it out. Dwayne, no. It's a child, man. Ain't no way.
How can we see this as healthy? How can we see this as normal? No disrespect to you, Dwayne Wade. No disrespect to you, Gabrielle Union. And to little Zion, no disrespect to you. I don't hold Zion Wade responsible for what has been done to you at all. You are a child, and your parents and your community should have never allowed you to make this decision as a child. Should you have chosen to do so upon your 18th birthday, they have no control. But as a teenager, you're only 15. You started going through this process at 11 or 12, a preteen. You had no right to do this. I do not fault you, Zion. I hold you not responsible at all. It is the job of parents to guide our children into who they are supposed to be.
And Gabrielle Union, ooh, you's devil. You wanted to be a vixen. You want to be a video vixen. You didn't want to be an actress. It just stumbled upon your way, your path in this destiny of life. And now you motivating this guy's son to go ahead and feel the way you want to and feel the way he's supposed to feel. Nah. Wait till the ex-wife talk.
Which takes me to a comment that Dwayne Wade made during the acceptance speech. Which takes me to a comment that Dwayne Wade made during his acceptance speech. D.Wades said, quote, "As your father, my job is not to direct your future."
As your father,
excuse me?
My job isn't to create a version of myself.
As your father,
your future.
My job is not to direct your future. Excuse me? As your father, my job is not to direct your future. Excuse me, Mr. Dwayne Wade. Yes, it is. It is the job of parents to direct children's futures while they are children. Yes, it is. What do you mean it's not your job to direct your child's future? Yes, it is. What is your definition of a parent, may I ask? What is your definition of a parent, may I ask? What is your definition of a parent, may I ask? And then you go on to say, brother, quote, "My role is to be a facilitator of your hope, your wishes, and your dreams." My role is to be a facilitator of your hope, your wishes, your dreams. Yes, Dwayne, as long as they coincide with our culturally affirmed norms and expectations for Black boys and Black men. A Black father's job is not to stand by, let the child think they know what they want to do, and then support the child in whatever they do, even at the cost of their physical health and psychological sanity. You are not there as an escort. You are a guiding leader in the life of your child. You're not an escort. You're talking like your job is just to escort your son through life and let him do whatever the hell he wants. If that's the case, why do we need parents at all? Why don't we just let children live on their own at the age of 7 or 8 or 9 when they're old enough to feed themselves and go to the bathroom and walk? Why do children need parents? Why do they need parents? Why can't they just go live on their own? Because according to your logic, Dwayne Wade, it's not your job to direct your son's future. It's not your job to direct his future. Your job is to facilitate his wishes and dreams. You're telling me as a Black man, your job is to facilitate your biological son's wish and dream to become a woman. I know you know better than that. I know you know better than that. And Gabrielle Union, you seem extremely happy and elated to be the stepmom of this confused young man. I don't know what you went through in your life, but I have never seen a black woman so happy to push sexual confusion on a child that is not even her own biologically. Something's wrong here. We need some deep-seated African cultural therapy, because this is a cultural issue. We need some African cultural therapy. This is exactly why we cannot forget who we are. This is exactly why we can't throw away our culture. This is exactly why we cannot allow children to make adult decisions. Isn't it ironic that Zion Wade is old enough to change his gender? He's old enough to decide he wants to be a woman, but he ain't old enough to buy a gun. He ain't old enough to vote. He ain't old enough to do a whole bunch of things. But society says he's old enough to decide to live his life as a woman, as a teenager. And this is what the NAACP is spending your money on. Excuse me, NAACP. Excuse me, NAACP. What about police genocide? How much money do y'all spend on the Image Awards? Because you're using the Image Awards to destroy the image of Black people. I hope you know this. Can somebody please tell the National Association for the Advancement of Certain Light-Skinned Colored People that the NAACP Image Awards is destroying the image of Black people? That's what you're doing.
There you go.
Promoting this type of stuff in front of our children, you're destroying. I thought you were a civil rights organization. So you mean to tell me childhood transgenderism is more important than police brutality? Childhood transgenderism is more important than mass incarceration. Childhood transgenderism is more important than gentrification, homelessness, economic apartheid, Black on Black genocide, all the problems we got. And you decide to highlight this. This is exactly why the NAACP gets no respect. Let's look at what Gabrielle Union had to say. Sister Gabrielle, you said, quote,
will we fight for some?
Will we fight for
or will we
some?
fight for all of our people?
Or will we fight for all of our people? Will we fight for some? Or will we fight for all of our people? Our sister Gabrielle Union begged the question during her acceptance speech. Will we fight for some? Or will we fight for all of our people? Let me answer that, my beautiful African sister. We fight for all of our people. We fight for their right to live. We fight for their right to work. We fight for their right to get an education. We fight for their right to have a decent life. We fight for their right to practice their African culture and their customs. We fight for their right to be protected from violence. We do not fight for the right of children to transform themselves into the opposite sex. We don't fight for that. We don't fight for that. And what you're not going to do, Gabrielle Union, NAACP, D.Wade Wade, or anybody else, is try to equate the fight for Black equality and survival with an acceptance for transgenderism amongst children who have no business making those decisions in the first place. You have lost your mind if you think we're going to sit by and let you eclipse all of the real problems we have as Black people in this country right now. We are catching hell in every area possible, and you think you're going to pull the Barack Obama. You think we're going to let you pull the Barack Obama. Barack Obama took LGBT issues and eclipsed everything else that mattered in Black America. Joe Biden took Black LGBTQ issues and covered up everything else that matters in Black America. And now the NAACP Image Awards with Gabrielle and D.Wade, you think you're going to take this issue of childhood transgenderism. I can't even believe I need to say those words. I can't believe that Black America has allowed those two words to marry each other. I'm so distraught and disappointed in us as a people because this is not just Dwayne and Gabrielle. You got Negroes, not just LGBTQs either. You got Black people running around thinking this is cute. Think it is cute to dress your sons up as little girls. Think it is cute to dress your girls up as little boys. This is destruction of the Black family. This is genocide of the African race. The reason they want our children to transgenderize themselves, the reason they want our children to transgenderize themselves, the reason they want our children to transgenderize themselves is it will eliminate and prevent the birthing of new Black life. How can we not understand that? How can we not understand that? A sex change for a child? A sex change for a child? A sex change for a child? And we wonder why God don't help Black people.
That's a crazy thought, and that's the truth. A sex change for a child. I need to get up on that. For real. A sex change for a child? That's what we're doing now? The devil is working. The devil is working hard, y'all. Hard. The Illuminatis, they working hard, y'all. The devil is working hard, y'all. It's coming closer. It's coming closer and closer. Every day. And now, if you've been watching most of my episodes, especially about the currency, the financial problems that's going on. Now you got commercials giving you forewarning to move your shit to this. So this doesn't happen because they're giving you fair warning of it's going down this year. It's in the process. If you haven't been watching, please tune in to most important topics, episodes that I had in season 1. It's very important. Now we're going to finally hear, because I never heard from D.Wade's ex-wife. Gabrielle Union, she got a lot to do with that child, mental, motivating him and her sucker husband, Dwayne Wade. He's a weak body. I don't care who he cool with. LeBron, Jay-Z, he could be cool with, I don't care. My brother, Mike Bibb, Mayor Cleveland, I don't care who he is. He's the father. And this father that we talking about, Mr. Dwayne Wade, oh my goodness. Listen to the story. When here you go. Let's do the damn thing.
Today, I'm interviewing Savon Wade, the ex-wife of NBA player Dwayne Wade. Savon, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to your lovely home. I was just wondering out of curiosity, and I'm so thankful that you invited me. You could have invited anybody, because I'm sure people want to hear what you have to say. Because in the media, this thing has played out to be real ugly, to be honest with you. But I've never really heard your version or never seen pretty much anywhere where you've made comments. And what made you decide to actually give your version and your account of what your truth is?
Well, I believe now I've overcome fear.
You were afraid.
Yes, I was.
Savon, when did you actually meet Dwayne?
We met when we were in like the 5th grade.
Wow. And so you all became immediate friends?
Yes.
So that wasn't like your little buddy, like you liked him in 5th grade. You all were just friends in 5th grade.
Oh no, I didn't like him then, but we were friends, yes.
Okay. And so as the years progressed, your relationship obviously turned to something romantic. When did you actually start dating D.Wade?
I think that I probably was 15 or 16 years old when we actually started dating.
Wow. So you all been together you all worked together for a long time?
Yes, we were.
And during that time, when he was 15 and younger, what was his personality like? And what were you like during that time?
I think I was pretty outgoing, very funny, and friends. We were friends. Although I was a female, and he was a male, I was able to, interact with him like one of his male friends, one of the guys. And he was, loving then, and he was very, I would say maybe soft-spoken, very humble, at that time.
And during that time, I read some things, he pretty much had a tumultuous childhood. I read that his mother was in and out of prison. His father was abusive to his stepmother. How did you play a role in actually helping to soothe him or calm him or to connect with him on that level?
Well, at that time, when he finally did confide in me about what was happening in his home and what had happened with his mom, he wasn't living with her at that time, about drug use and her being in and out of prison. The abuse was pretty bad in his house. And one night it gotten really bad, and him and his younger sister had came to my home probably at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And I opened the doors, and that's when I basically had to tell my mom what I knew about what was happening in his home and what was going on. Because I had to explain to her why he was coming to the door at that hour at 16 years old. And so I had spoken with my mom, and I had told her what was happening, and I asked her, is it any way that he can stay with us and not have to live in that kind of environment?
And your mother approved of this?
Yes, she did.
So during this time too, from my understanding, you all were dealing with the tragedy yourselves.
Yes, we were.
You lost your biological sister.
Yes, the only sibling.
The only sibling you had.
Yes.
So to me, it would seem as though that I can see that you would become close, especially if that was one of your closest friends, D.Wade, and he's confiding in you. I know that you felt extremely close to him to tell him certain things and to confide in him. Did that bring you all closer together?
Yo, I must say, that's the most sweethearted shit I ever heard that in America love story ever. That she, as a young teenager in high school, asked her mom, can D.Wade Wade come and stay with her because of what's going on at home. That's a real woman, young woman at a young age. That is the most beautifulest shit I ever heard, yo. That's heartfelt right there. And you ain't with this woman to this day because of what? I'm pretty sure it's because of some shit once you made it big, you felt like you ain't need it no more. That is a beautiful thing. Wow. This is D.Wade Wade's ex-wife, y'all.
It absolutely did. I would say at that time that, that was my very best friend, which is what, and well, he was my best friend and I was his. That's what had us to confide in each other about things that, weren't that easy to speak about or didn't have other people at the time, to trust with that sort of important things that was going on.
Do you mind, Savannah, if I bring your mom out to speak to us about D.Wade living with you all?
Not at all.
Okay.
3 signs of yeast issues in your dog's paws. Number 1, their paws smell.
Ms. Funches, thank you so much for joining us today. Savannah was just explaining to me that in high school, she was friends with D.Wade in 5th grade. You all know that, but Dwayne was having some family issues, and she confided in you what he was dealing with. And eventually you let him live with you. How did all of that come about, and what made you decide to allow him to live with you?
Well, it was the night he came to me, and when he said to me, he had 2 black garbage bags, and he knocked on the door late at night, and he asked me, did I mean what I said when I said what I said about children?
What did you say about children?
I had to ask him, what did I say? And he said that you would never let a kid be out in the street with no place to go. You would never let a kid go hungry, and you would always help them if they needed something for school, you know, to take care of for school. And I said, yeah, I meant what I said. And he said, Mama, I'm home. So I was like, okay. And I just told him to leave the garbage bags out there, shake them out.
Shake out the roaches, as everybody know, because back then, shit, roaches was everywhere. So yeah, leave the bags outside, shake out the roaches. But besides that, it's heartfelt that she got a mama like that, and she said that, and she took the man anyway. Not only him, his sister too. Damn, made me want to drop a tear. You know what I'm saying? Yo, cause that shit. A lot of people had a rough life coming up. I know I had one, but this ain't my story. But we're gonna keep this going. I just come in and I love real shit. I soak it in and I try to do good back. So you gotta love this woman and her daughter. Hey, D.Wades Wade's ex-wife, if you're listening, if you ever see this radio podcast right here, please get in contact with me. I would love to be a good man to you because you was a good damn woman, even at the age of 18, 17, whatever the teen you was. I know you won now. Dwayne is just cuckoo.
Separate them. And first I was going to ask him what happened, but, you know, I believed it was the same stuff going on, but I didn't know to what detail, and I just said, I'll wait till in the morning.
Well, did you know Savon that he moved in, or were you there when Dwayne actually moved in?
I was not there. I actually was away at school. I was in college.
Oh, you were in college.
Yes.
So you didn't even know that Dwayne moved in with your mom?
Not right away, no.
And why didn't you tell her this?
I didn't want that to be a distraction because that was her first year going to college. And he was just getting ready to go to his last year of high school.
And during this time, I know this was a very difficult time for you because you had just buried your daughter, your only other biological child other than Savon. And first of all, I couldn't even imagine how that felt and how you all dealt with it. But in that time of mourning, you still opened your heart and allowed him to live with you. What was so special about Dwayne?
Well, first of all, I can't take credit that I did anything. God had to heal me from the loss of my daughter. And then God had to restore me to be able to take care of another child, period. Because when that happened to me, I had no intention of looking for another child. And that was between me and God because I told him I was hurting too bad. So he had to give me a reason to even care, to love, and to even take care of anybody else because I was really wounded by that.
Yeah. But you not only took him in, you went out of your way. You took him to tutoring, an hour out of your way. You did these things for a child that wasn't even yours. That a lot of people, or some people, don't even do for their own children. And that speaks volumes about your character. But I must ask you, and I just want to be honest with you about this. In light of what's happening now, today, do you feel betrayed by Dwayne?
I didn't do anything special for Dwayne Wade. What you just said, I did exactly the same thing for him that I did for Savon and Garrett. All the way to college, the exact same thing. When they got a bank account at 17, he did. When they got a driver's license, I took him to get his. When they left with a computer, he also left with one. So everything that God provided for me to give for my children, God got that same job and had me to provide it for Dwayne Wade.
And that same job allowed you to do these things for a child, for Dwayne. But yet, do you feel broken about what's going on today?
I feel broken. I feel hurt. And again, I had to go to God. I always resort to go back to God because I had to ask God why. The things that the abuse that has happened to my grandchildren, the things that has happened, you know, even though Dwayne went through abuse and everything, he will have to know this. God provided him a way of escape out of the abuse. And then turn around and in turn to do this to my daughter and his own children. I don't even know a word to describe that.
The Dwayne you knew that you actually took into your home and had him shake out the bags, okay? The black garbage bags that he came to your doorstep. The same young man who said, Mom, I'm home. Did you mean what you said? Is he a different person now? Do you even know this Dwayne Wade in 2012?
No, I do not know who he is. I just know that for me, I treated him just like my children. The ones that God gave me through birth, even to the point of making him an heir. When I say exactly the same thing. And in spite of all that, it took God. He's still an heir today.
Do you love him, Miss
As God would have me to love him, yes. But I do not love anything that he's done.
Have you expressed that to him?
No.
But this same young man that you actually brought into your home and sounded raising like your child, why is it that you haven't sat him down and spoke to him? You were a mother figure to him. So literally, it doesn't mean because you didn't give birth to him that you wasn't his mother. You raised him as your own. So you haven't felt the need to actually sit down and talk to him face to face and let him look at you, the same person who took your bed when he had nowhere to go, and look at you and explain to you why he's doing whatever he's doing and how it has hurt you.
The last time that I took the children down to Trump Towers, and Dwayne was standing outside the building, a young man, another son of mine, Toti, he became very upset. You know why? For what you just said. He looked and he saw Dwayne didn't even speak. He had his nose in the air. And he was so hurt that when we came back with the children, he was later on that night, he said, what happened? He said, I asked him, what's wrong with him? He said, I cannot believe it. This is the man you took into your home. He didn't even speak and acknowledge you. And I told him, I'm going to give him a peace of mind. I never got an apology from the girl that killed my daughter to this day. God restored me. If somebody took my daughter's life and they never came and apologized to me for that, and God healed me, who is Dwayne Wade to not to speak to the one who fed him, clothed him, educated him? Because God is the one that did that for Dwayne. So that insult is not toward me, it's directly toward God. And if God made me the person I am to be able to stand and live and live my life, and someone took my daughter from the earth, and then he comes along right after that, and he doesn't want to speak, that's between him and God. I don't have anything to say to Dwayne about that. That is directly between him and God.
That is deep. That is real deep and heartfelt. And Mom was like, it was all because of God. It wasn't because of me. I was just a tool. God used me to help you. And then Dwayne want to act like that. So that let y'all know, they give y'all a clue of how Dwayne Wade moved on and went on to the NBA, left his beautiful sweetheart woman hanging, and that's is the mother Isaiah and the other son, not Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle and Dwayne Wade got their own child together. But it's like, wow, that lets you know how people is. They use you, then they abuse you and act like they don't even know you once they get big. I'm pretty sure that's how that story went. Because I ain't stupid, y'all ain't stupid, y'all ain't slow. Shit, we all on the same bus together going straight up. We lit. We know what's popping off. In the Krazy Dropoff. That's Illmatic. So if you want to come up on the panel on the show and give your emphasis and drop off your opinion, your thoughts on the topics that we had today on the show, I appreciate it. Press the like button. Please press the subscribe button. Hit the bell. Bing. It'll let you know every time Krazy is coming on. And I appreciate y'all if y'all coming on. You also can present shows to me also. Topics, anything that you want to talk about. All you have to do is take down my email. My email is krazchaos@gmail.com. That's krazchaos@gmail.com. Last time I said I'm gonna put it up there, but I'm gonna put it up there right now so you can see it. So you can drop off any topic that you would like to even talk about. And 9 times out of 10, hey, I'll let you yourself present your presentation of the topic that you just left me. So here's my email. Okay. At gmail.com. Because I'm not a selfish dude and I like to get the word out. As long as the word get out, oh shit. You don't want to put that word out. Let me edit that real quick. But as long as we get the word out, that's the most important thing to our people. Okay, there we go. I didn't know Dwayne Wade was cut like that. And now I don't even care about him getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame. I don't care. If you have any topic that you want to bring, leave it at here. This email. Drop it in, and I'll bring it to the surface, or you can bring it to the surface of your presentation. I'm glad that y'all came in and kicked it with me. All the late bloomers, all the late viewers that's coming in, please hit the like. I will support you. Please support me. Because we ain't nothing but family. All my brothers and sisters with me. We are family. Yeah, I ain't a good singer, but you know what I'm talking about. I would show support too. I show support to a lot of people's pages, and that's why they allow me to use the footage that I have. So if anybody want to come up, I'll give y'all a minute. Press on the link in the chat. The StreamYard link is right there. Just click on it, come up. And if not, I'll see y'all in the next episode. I appreciate y'all. I got love for y'all. Most definitely. You know what I mean? I love it. Because I want somebody to let me know something on. Like, if they plan to move to another Earth or another planet and they trying to leave us black people behind, I want to know. And I will hope somebody do a YouTube and let me know. Knowledge is power. Power is knowledge. And guess what? We all human. Ain't nobody better than the next man. It's just how we carry ourselves on to the next man. You feel me?
So y'all know, they don't joke. All my niggas, move that dope. Up to the stacks, I need some more. That's where I live, in the ghetto. That's enough, 'cause now I'm back. If you gangsta, show your stack. It's the hustle, and I'm the flow. From the ghetto. Take a look at my kid, born in Cleveland, I'm still rapping, yeah. Facts are hustling, with a six-pack of beer. Do it look like a walking fear? Hell no, head up, 'cause shit's gotta be better. So I lost my job, fucking I ain't gonna sweat 'em. Back to the streets, the homies still where I met 'em. New routine, my venues plus a piece of my albums. Homies know I'm linked up with a badass connection. Try to come up without no neglection. I rest in line and constantly right with my weapon. Focus on the game, blow up the Hendersons. Cool intentions, don't play with me. My attitude is like cool, but more like edgy, especially when my mom is trying to get money. I do the do. I ain't gotta prove. From the ghetto. So y'all know, they don't joke. All my niggas, move that dope. Put too many stacks, I need some more. That's where I live, in the ghetto. That's enough, 'cause now I'm back. If you gangsta, show your stack. It's the hustle, and I'm the flow. From the ghetto. I'm body sitting in the cold, waiting for the wake up so I can work the show. Be strapping what happened, asking the questions nobody knows. I never hide no feelings, my temper's always shown. Don't need your permission, I'm blowing up this microphone. I'm rapping, I'm laughing, you can't be your life out of tone. I'm focused, sometimes I find myself all alone. My intentions is to be successful, that's the goal. Don't just sit there, do something, do that tone. Stay focused in the zone. I keep it real, so when I walk, I'm fantastic, not a lassie, that's my MO. So call me when you need me to melt the snow, 'cause I'm still right here in the ghetto. I come call, right here, never fall. So y'all know, they don't joke. All my niggas, move that dope. Put too many stacks, I need some more. That's where I live, in the ghetto. That's enough, 'cause now I'm back. If you gangsta, show your stack. It's the hustle, and I'm the flow. From the ghetto. I don't even won't trust nobody. Trust is like a lot of me. Please keep the bullshit, 'cause I'm real, I gotta eat. Niggas all faking, 365 constantly. I really don't trust you smiling at me, trying to knock me, stop me. Looking just like me, copy, change like it's mine. Jock me, I almost don't trust my mind. This shit just chopped up, 50 ain't grimy. Mama told me never trust a fiend. Mama, yeah, you right, that's elementary. Automatically, never trust the city streets. Be easy. Niggas acting funny when they got money, or my money turn them into enemies. Homeboy, why you mocking me? Go run and tell that 103. So y'all know, they don't joke. All my niggas, move that dope. Put too many stacks, I need some more. That's where I live, in the ghetto. That's enough, 'cause now I'm back. If you gangsta, show your stack. It's the hustle, and I'm the flow. From the ghetto.